No, 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 no matter how you look at it, there are few producers who managed to shape the sounds of the 2000s as much as Pharrell Williams. Since he broke out around the late 90s, he's went on to make some of the most iconic records of all time with some of the most iconic artists of all time. Whether it's his work with Chad Hugo as part of the Neptunes, or it's his solo or collaborative projects, Autogoon. I mean, Pharrell Williams is a producer whose sound has become stapled in time and forever iconic. He's inspired or even been a part of so many recent hits too, so it's no doubt he's a timeless producer. But what's his secret? Is it the genius blend of beautiful jazz chords and the addictive drums? Not the plugin. Or is there something deeper that's core to the sound? Today, I'm going to be breaking down the mentality behind the production of Pharrell Williams using a project that applies them. So I kicked this off with the Odin guitar, and I just took inspiration from Frontin. I think it's from the Neptunes album, if I'm not mistaken. And I just play that simple guitar, you know, just a couple of plugs. And then this is what it sounds like. So as you can tell, it already has that Pharrell type of funk. I just put on guitar rig just to have an effect on it. You know, that old school type of effect. I don't know how to pronounce that. Rhythm dopo or something. But that's the preset that I have on there. And I also put on vintage chorus just to make it sound a little more vintage. And I built off of that. The second thing that I did was look for some nice soulful keys. And I ended up with this analog preset and these chords. You notice that usually Pharrell has these jazzy, smooth chords, and that was the inspiration behind the chords. Now I do also have some effects running through here that contribute to the sound. First of all is vintage chorus, just to add to that vintage feel. And then Valhalla vintage verb to just space it out, you know, give it more width. And then retro color, just for that, you know, old school retro sound. And I took a little bit of the lows out and the highs out. You will notice on a lot of Pharrell's produced tracks that he keeps things simple, so that's exactly what I did here. I just added one last melodic element, and that's this Good Job preset off of Analog Lab, and this is what it sounds like. Basically, it's just those notes playing around, and I added Valhalla Shimmer and Pancake just to give it more stereo width and character. And then last but not least, for the melodies, I just added a simple bass that goes along with the guitar. Just simple, nothing too crazy. And then this is how all of the melodic elements sound together. Now the track already has that classic Pharrell funk and bounce to it, but what really puts it together are the drums. I just used the Pharrell drum kit and I took these punchy drums added another drum just to offset it a bit. This Jay-Z hi-hat, which has the velocities randomized. This open hat. And then finally a clap for some more bounce. I also was looking for that organic, you know, percussion feel. So I just made my own sample just by recording a sound of my mouth. That's crazy. I just recorded a sample of me just playing with my mouth. Okay, bro, there's no right way to say it. But this is a recording I ended up with for the percussion. And putting all of those elements together, that makes the chorus. And then moving on to the verse, I just messed around with the guitar a little bit more, added some notes, and then this is how it sounds. Then I also added this effect to it. And then kept that repetitive sound. And then to top that off, I added a lead to respond to it. I also just changed the bass up by adding more notes. Overall, it still feels very simple, but those subtle changes make the world of a difference. Then for the drums, I changed the kick up a little bit. Sauced up the hi-hat.
He like a hi-hat guy, kind of.
Kept that open hat. Then I added a clap and a snap. And then finally, a bongo. And then when we put all of those together, this is how the verse sounds. And for the second part of the verse, I did change the bass up a little bit just to make it more special and to ease into the next part, which is the bridge. For the bridge, I wanted to make sure that I bring in those luscious jazz chords that Pharrell always goes for. So I brought in addictive keys, I used the wide ribbon preset, and then I plotted in these chords right here. This is how they sound. The aim for the bridge was to switch everything up and capture the listener's ear. So I brought in more silky smooth chords and I made sure to build a little bit of suspense. As for the effects I have on this piano, I just EQ'd a little bit of the lows and the highs out, boosted this frequency right here, and I also brought in Valhalla Vintage Verb. The piano already sounded rich and luscious, but it was missing some of that depth, so I added some strings to it. I panned one to the left and one to the right. This is how everything sounds together. And you notice that for the strings, I'm not playing all of the notes and there's a little bit more space, and that's intentional. And the reasoning behind that was just to add to that suspense. And last but not least is the bass. Basically, this is just the repetitive melody that we had before, pitched an octave down and simplified. To add some ear candy to the bridge, I just added this sound effect from the Pharrell drum kit, and this is how the bridge sounds together. And that's everything you need to make these types of tracks. The takeaway here is always is to keep things simple. Don't overthink anything, and if it sounds good, just go with it. Oh, and by the way, I didn't forget the full count start. I mean, how could I, bro? I'm never gonna forget that. Make sure you drop a sub, bro.